in this video, we are going to see about what are the errors in perception. For that, what is perception actually? The perceptions are nothing but we tend to give a meaning or interpretation to a particular stimuli. That is what perceptions are. So, what are the errors in perception can be seen in this video? Okay. There are two errors in perception. One is illusion, second one is hallucinations. So illusions are nothing but there will be a stimulus, but you are misinterpreting the stimulus into another thing rather than its actual form. That is what illusion. The definition of illusions can be of it is a wrong perception, it is a misleading or the distorted perception, and it is a misinterpretation of the stimulus. A physical stimulus that consistently produces errors in perception, and illusions are perception that are the misinterpretations of the reality. So illusions are nothing but they are perceptions, but they will be providing as misinterpretations of the reality rather than interpreting the reality. Under illusions, there are different types. One is horizontal vertical illusions. So horizontal vertical illusions are nothing but there will be two lines. One is horizontal line, the sleeping line, and the vertical line, the standing line. Though the two lines are of equal length, we tend to perceive the vertical line as the longer length rather than the horizontal line, because we are overestimating the length of the vertical lines and underestimating the length of the horizontal one. Because our brain tend to perceive the vertical line as the longer one than the horizontal line. So that illusion is called as horizontal vertical illusion. For example, the inverted T. Then you have Muller-Lyer illusion. Muller-Lyer illusion is a very famous experiment and which we also done in our practical. So Muller-Lyer illusion is again a visual illusion. Here also we'll be having two lines. So two lines, it will be differentiated with one with the arrow header one and the second one with the feather header one. So though these two lines are also of equal length, we tend to perceive these two lines in a different size. That is what the Muller-Lyer illusion speaks about. And it was the concept given by Franz Karl Muller-Lyer in 1889. So this is the example of Muller-Lyer. And you have the third type of illusion, which is illusions of movement. Illusions of movement are nothing but we tend to perceive a motion in a stationary object or image or incorrectly perceive the direction or speed of a moving object. For example, during a festive time, a house will be decorated with serial bulbs. So there will be two stationary or static bulbs which will be moving one after the other. So the two bulbs are not in motion, we tend to perceive that the light is in motion because of a phenomenon. Here a phenomenon is there that is called as phi phenomenon, which is also being talked under, we are also being studied under the concept of gestalt psychology. So because of that phenomenon, we tend to perceive the motion in those two static lights and it is still moving one after the other. That is what illusions of motion speaks about. You see this movement of light when the serial bulbs are placed in our rooms or in our home while during some festive season. So that is because of illusions of motion. Nothing but we perceive motions in a stationary object or image or incorrectly perceive the direction of speed of a moving object. And the second error in illusion is, the second error in perceptions are hallucinations. So it's another error, which is nothing but the real or vivid perceptions in the absence of stimuli. So we don't like misinterpret one stimuli into another form. We have a vivid or real kind of, that is a clear image of something, but there will be no presence of a stimuli at all. So we have something in our mind without the presence of a stimuli. That is called hallucinations. When a stimulus is there and we are misinterpreting the stimuli, then it will become an illusion. Stimulus is not there, but we interpreting something without the presence of stimuli, that will become under hallucination. That interpretation or that that perception could be very real and has a clear nature. So that is hallucination. So nothing but false sensory experience if you're seeing something in the absence of an external visual stimulus. So one concept related to hallucination is delusion, whereas delusion is an thought disorder, whereas hallucination is a perceptual disorder. Whereas in delusion, we will be thinking ourselves which is unrealistic in nature. That is what our thinking is got affected. That is why it is called a thought-related disorder. Whereas perception, we tend to perceive something in the absence of a stimulus, so it comes under the perceptual disorder. Okay, and this hallucination can be one positive symptom under the psychotic disorder, especially in schizophrenia. Thank you all.